Hiya folks, welcome to this Let's Play of Yooka Laylee. I will be your host, Owen Quillion. First things first, I'm playing Banjo Kazooie in tandem with this game. If you watch both, you'll probably hear me repeating myself quite a bit, but if you prefer to see Banjo Kazooie over Yooka Laylee, or if you just want to start from the beginning, check the card at the top right. For those of you that are still with me, you've probably heard a bit about this game. Heard it described as a love letter to the yesteryear of the 3D platformer. It was made by Playtonic Games, released just this past month. It got a fair bit of press, with opinions ranging from, oh, it's a stupid dinosaur that has no place in current year, and others saying, oh, it's the revival of this beloved genre, just the best thing ever, and some people expressing mild disappointment, or mild positive stuff. Anyway, Playtonic Games is staffed by several of the creative minds that made up Rare, who developed the Nintendo 64 classics GoldenEye, Jet Force Gemini, Perfect Dark, and of course, the Banjo Kazooie games. I bring up Banjo Kazooie for obvious reasons. This is a spiritual successor. It was basically the Kickstarter campaign's marketing campaign. A rare revival of the Buddy Duo 3D platformer. So, that is why I wanted to do this side-by-side play of the two, just to see how Yooka Laylee stacks up to the greats of the past, if it's a worthy successor, if it even is just a good game by the standards of 2017. And the first thing against it, in my opinion, is the unskippable cutscene that I cut out 5 minutes time. The camera I want to demonstrate. You saw how it was not me when I was crossing this bridge. I want to watch the bridge as I'm heading left, but it goes behind me. And if I could find a wide enough area, you would see that if I just hold right, I eventually wind up running in circles instead of going to the rightmost edge of the screen with the camera panning after me. They're going to change that in an update. It will act more like the Banjo Kazooie camera. They will tidy up a couple of, just spit and polish in general. Anyway, for the most part, I really do think the game is... It is not a knockout. It is not the best game. It is not exactly Banjo Kazooie brought into the... It is Banjo Kazooie brought into the modern age with a slightly lower budget adjusted for inflation I imagine they had back then. And that really sums up my general thoughts as we play through. We will see more. The other thing that I was going to mention, on top of the unskippable cutscene, is all this, which is kind of essentially an unskippable tutorial, which a lot of games get a lot of flack for in this day and age. And in Banjo Kazooie, as you'll see, if you, or as you have seen, if you've watched my other video, you come out of the house, Bottles babbles at you, he lets you skip the long tutorial. I do like that this tutorial is in action. You're told, go around, explore your moveset, check out, and get these items. And then some of the more complicated stuff it explains right here. And I do appreciate that more than Banjo Kazooie's run around, let Bottles tell you stuff at great length, and then finally get your actual basic move. I do commend this game for that, but the fact that you can't skip through this on subsequent playthroughs is kind of annoying. I won't say that I was actually in a level by now in Banjo Kazooie, but I know that by the point I reach the first level in this one, I will have been halfway through at the first level in Banjo Kazooie. And part of that is because the level is simply slower. The level design is simply smaller, not slower, excuse me. Anyway, the basic story of Yooka Laylee, for those of you who are somehow seeing this for the first time, is Yooka and Laylee found this book, or more accurately, Capital B, the evil businessman Capital B, which is nearly as trite in this day and age as the witch was back in 1998. And I cannot skip through this dialogue. Anyway, Capital B had his henchman there, the Dr. Quack, who is basically a duck head in a jar, much like you would expect a brain in a jar. Decided to steal all the books in the world, including the one book, which can rewrite reality, which Laylee had been using as a drinks coaster up until this point. And it got sucked away, and all the pages fell out, and now they are looking to reacquire the book and their pages, so that they can flog it, which I believe is British for pawn. And that's one thing about this game. Rare has always been British, but never have they been so unapologetically British as in this one. You should know that my general feeling on the characters and the writing in this game is that it tries a little too hard to... Let's just look at the fact that the guy I've been talking to is named Trouser Snake. That's a hilarious joke to me with my level of maturity, which is kind of low. Wouldn't have seen it in a Nintendo game, even from a second-party developer, especially not from a second-party developer, probably not even from a third-party developer back in the day. Here is Dr. Quack's statue in all its glory. He did not remove it in the cutscene you did not watch. But yeah, you would not have seen a joke like that. Also, talking through that cutscene that showed me exactly how to do this is part of the reason I say this game as a kind of awful forced tutorial. I mean, if you are not willing to just have at it, do the fairly, like, I can understand if you're completely new to games, you don't have the skill set to just make that, you know, immediately apparent, but you should be able to poke around and figure it out. And all the stuff you pick up in Banjo Kazooie talks to you. None of them stop, or very few of them stop you and make you talk at length like this, unless it's a quest. This is just, oh, all the pages ran away, as you saw in the cutscene, we're re-explaining it to you, yada yada. That's why we're 7 minutes into the video with minimal gameplay. I am showing you exactly my own pain and suffering. Trouser is down here, and we have to go back to him for this game's equivalent of the Calentron, the reptile roll. It gives you a free move to navigate the hub world in between every hub, every book world is what they're called in this game. I wanted to say puzzle world, which is also not exactly correct. And I do appreciate this. One thing that we'll see shortly is you don't have the Banjo Kazooie like eggs for ammo and feathers for flight and other feathers for invulnerability. It's all consolidated into a single power bar. Again, this is the straightest path you could imagine, and we had to go through this whole cutscene to see exactly what's going on. Anyway, here's the power bar, and I appreciate that. That's a game design. Not necessarily better, but it's one that I accept. Oh, and we have to learn that there's a pagey in a cagey, which is pretty cringeworthy. And you're going to see, oh, sometimes you have to solve a puzzle in the environment to get a page. Imagine that. We haven't seen anything like this before in our lives. And, of course, I'm going to come up here, and he's going to tell me, this is... Banjo Kazooie was basically the same thing. You jumped up. You put however many puzzle pieces you needed in. That's how it worked. It was only Banjo Tooie that had an actual minigame behind this. And he tells me how to do it, and then he asks if I want to do it while telling me how to do it. And we played through the neat little book opening animation. Which, nah, I like seeing a picture of the level, rather than just having a pseudo-environment around. Anyway, see you on the other side of this loading screen. And here we are, in Tribalstack Tropics. Now, Banjo Kazooie's first level is pretty short. And there are 9 levels in that game. This one has 5. And for one, the levels are pretty massive. It's pretty great. And they split them up by opening part of the level, I'll show you in just a moment, I will miss every single one of these stupid feathers on the way up, apparently. That was this game's equivalent of a Jinjo, a Ghost Rider. You catch 5 of them and you get a Pagey. I am super bad. You'd think I could roll in a straight line. I promise the game's controls are tighter than I'm making them appear here. Anyway, the neat thing about the fact that you don't have access to the entire world at the start of the game. One of these, yeah, here we go. You can see, like, that off in the distance. There's very clearly in the foreground a temple I could go over to, and there's something that looks like it's a texture there in the background, and there's another one. There's a mountain. Anyway, that is what will unlock when I spend more to open up the second half of the world. And I think that's... I'm of two minds. I would kind of like to be able to just go in and do stuff. But it's also neat to just expand the world like that. It would have been nice to have more variety. And now you see, unlike the Jinjos who are just color palette swaps of each other, in this one you actually have to make an effort to catch the different kinds of Ghost Rider. This particular one requires you to hunt him down, to speed up and catch him, which I assure you is... I hope it's possible that I'm not just wasting time. I'm not even sure I need a reptile roll. Oh, jeez. That would have been perfect. Yeah. Oh, that was mildly embarrassing. Okay. And there's a Ghost Rider up there that you can see that I can't quite reach. I like that butterflies, if you run over them, you get your power meter back. If you use your tongue to eat them, you get life back. It consolidates the power up into one handy thing. Streamlines gameplay a little bit, which you can be for or against. I can see there's upsides and downsides either way. This game, most of the enemies are just slightly dressed up versions of these corplet dudes. And I feel like that, compared to Banjo Kazooie that had all these neat enemies that were themed to the level, more strongly themed to the level than just like putting on a hat. I like that, compared to what you have in this game. And there's a kind of joke-type enemy that we'll see later. Which, I appreciate the joke. It's a good joke. But it comes at the expense of, like, doing some actual work that would have been nice. I should say that, while I do have pretty fond, I am a fan of this game, all things considered. Flaws and all. I did get it for 15 bucks, because I backed it on Kickstarter. Going and dropping 40 bucks, just right off the bat, I can understand. If you're not really into the idea, you can wait for a sale. It'll be there. I wouldn't blame you at all. Especially given that there is an update on the way that will improve the camera. And a whole bunch of other little things. I think this fire is never going to go out. So, yeah. Platforming genius right here. Alright. As soon as we get up here, I think we will split. I will split, and we will have a next time on Let's Play Yooka Laylee for episode 2. There is... I can't even get up here, because I do not have a high jump yet. I should have gone and visited Rouser. There's just a dead guy here. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. If you would like to continue with Yooka Laylee, the next episode is here on your left. If you would prefer to go to episode 2 of Banjo Kazooie, here it is on your right. If you want a playlist, check the description. And as always, thank you for watching.